When a devastating flood destroyed Sam's beloved farm, she thought her dreams had been washed away forever. Yet out of tragedy rose an unexpected act of courage and kindness. Police officer Lee, who witnessed her pain, refused to let despair win. With determination and the support of the entire village, he led the effort to rebuild the farm, brick by brick, hope by hope. What emerged was not only a new beginning for Sam, but also a story of resilience, love, and community. Stay with us, subscribe now, and let this heartfelt journey inspire you. The flood came without mercy. For days, the rain had pounded relentlessly against the earth, swelling rivers until their banks surrendered, sending waves of muddy water sweeping across the countryside. When it finally reached Sam's farm, there was no time to save much of anything. The animals she had nurtured, the crops she had tended with care, and the homes she had built from years of hard work, all were swallowed in a matter of hours. By the time the waters receded, what remained was devastation. Broken wooden beams scattered like driftwood, fences collapsed under thick layers of mud, and fields, once green and vibrant, now lying silent beneath a suffocating coat of debris. Sam stood at the edge of her ruined land, her boots sinking into the sludge, her heart heavy with grief. This farm had not only been her livelihood, but also her sanctuary, a place where every sunrise greeted her with purpose. She remembered mornings spent gathering eggs with the gentle cluck of hens around her, afternoons weeding rows of vegetables while humming songs her mother once sang, and evenings listening to the soft lowing of cows as the sky blushed with twilight. Each memory now felt like a cruel reminder of what she had lost. The silence that replaced the farm's familiar sounds was unbearable. It was the silence of emptiness, of a dream stripped bare. The villagers came to see the aftermath, offering words of sympathy, but Sam could barely respond. She thanked them with faint smiles, though inside she was drowning in despair. The weight of starting over seemed impossible, too heavy for her shoulders alone. Even the strong roots of her determination, which had carried her through hardships before, felt weakened by the sheer scale of destruction. For the first time in her life, Sam questioned whether she had the strength to rebuild. Yet beneath her sorrow, there lingered a fragile spark of resilience. As she looked across the wreckage, her hands trembling against the wooden gate barely clinging to its hinges, she whispered a vow to herself. "If there is even a chance, I will rise again." But how, she did not know. What she couldn't see then was that her story was far from over, and that someone was already watching, ready to turn her vow into reality. The storm had passed, but its scars lingered in every corner of the village. For days, Lee patrolled the muddy paths, ensuring safety, checking on families, and keeping order among the chaos left behind. Yet no image haunted him more than the sight of Sam standing in the ruins of her farm. She had once been the heart of the village, known for her tireless work, her laughter carried across the fields, and the baskets of vegetables she generously shared with neighbors. Now her figure seemed smaller, bent under the weight of a grief that words could not soothe. Every time Lee walked by, he caught her silently staring at the broken fences and collapsed sheds, as though searching for fragments of her former life in the wreckage. Lee had always admired Sam's resilience, but he also knew that resilience could only carry someone so far. He remembered how, during the storm, she had refused to leave her animals until the very last moment, risking her life to untie them. That kind of love deserved more than pity. It deserved a chance to rebuild. Lying awake at night, the thought consumed him. What if the farm could rise again, stronger than before? What if he could give her back not just her land, but her hope? The next morning, Lee made his decision. He would not simply offer kind words or temporary aid, he would act. His uniform gave him authority, but in this moment, he wanted to be more than a protector of law. He wanted to be a protector of dreams. Quietly, he began reaching out to the villagers, speaking to each family, explaining his plan. "Sam has always been there for us," he reminded them, "and now it's our turn to be there for her." Slowly, heads nodded, eyes lit with recognition, and promises were made. Some offered tools, others lumber, and a few even pledged their own hands to help rebuild. For Lee, it was not just about repairing walls and fences. It was about repairing a spirit that had been crushed. As he looked out across the battered fields, he imagined them filled again with green shoots and the sounds of life returning. The vision gave him strength. He knew it would take time, effort, and sacrifice, but the idea of seeing Sam smile again was enough to ignite a determination deep within him. And in that determination, the first seeds of a new beginning were planted. The days that followed were filled with the sound of hammers striking wood, shovels breaking ground, and voices carrying encouragement across the fields. It was as though the entire village had breathed life back into itself through this single act of unity. Children ran with buckets of water, elders sat nearby giving guidance, and strong hands lifted beams into place under the autumn sun. In the center of it all, Sam stood in disbelief, her eyes following every nail driven, every wall raised. She had thought her story with the farm had ended in ruins, yet here it was, being rewritten before her eyes. This time, not just by her own efforts, but by a community bound together by care. Lee worked tirelessly, his uniform often stained with dirt, his sleeves rolled up as he carried timber, mixed cement, and shared laughter with the villagers. Though exhaustion tugged at him, he never once slowed, for every brick set was a promise kept. He could see the way Sam's shoulders began to lift, how her steps grew firmer each day. Where once there had been silence and despair, now there was the clamor of hope being rebuilt piece by piece. And whenever Sam's eyes met his, gratitude and something deeper flickered quietly between them, unspoken yet profoundly understood. The farm slowly took shape. A new chicken coop, sturdy fences, a greenhouse filled with the promise of fresh vegetables. When the first roof beam was set in place, Sam's tears finally fell, not of sorrow, but of overwhelming relief. "I thought I had lost everything," she whispered one evening as the golden light of sunset washed over the half-finished barn. "But you've shown me that I still have more than I ever realized." Lee, brushing dust from his hands, simply smiled. "You are never alone, Sam, and you never will be." By the time the farm stood complete, it was more than just a place to raise animals and crops. It had become a living testament to resilience, to kindness, and to the strength found in unity. For Sam, the new farm was not merely a replacement of what she had lost. It was a rebirth, carrying within it the love and hands of everyone who had helped. And for Lee, it was proof that duty was not only about protecting lives, but about nurturing them. As the first seeds were planted in the rich, renewed soil, Sam felt a quiet certainty settle in her heart. The farm would thrive again. But more importantly, she had discovered that hope, once planted, could never be washed
Hello,
away.
xin chào tất cả các khán giả của kênh Lý Tử Sam Review. Vậy là sau trận lũ lụt kinh hoàng thì cảnh sát Ni đã quyết định là sẽ xây dựng lại một cái nông trại mới cho Lý Tử Sam tại mảnh đất mà anh đã mua tặng Lý Tử Sam. Và sau những chuỗi ngày vất vả thì nông trại mới của Lý Tử Sam đã sắp hoàn thiện, và Lý Tử Sam và cảnh sát Ni đã trao nhau nụ hôn thật là ngọt ngào dưới sự chứng kiến của chị gái cảnh sát Nhi, đồng nghiệp của cảnh sát Nhi đó chính là đồng chí Đức. Đó chính là một ngày vô cùng hạnh phúc đối với Sam và Nhi sau những chuỗi ngày ngập ngụt rất là đáng buồn. Mọi tình tiết hấp dẫn sẽ còn được kể ở các tập video tiếp theo. Các bạn hãy bấm vào nút đăng ký kênh để nhận được thông báo mới nhất về video sẽ được phát sóng hàng ngày trên kênh nha. Cảm ơn các bạn rất nhiều. Xin chào và hẹn gặp lại. Bye bye.